This is the Ask Amberleigh Show. Welcome to the Ask Amberleigh Show. My name is Amberleigh Carter, and this podcast episode is brought to you by two sponsors. The first sponsor is 913 Boutique. It's based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and it's the cutest boutique ever. One of my friends owns it. She has elevated basics, so all kind of clothing things and jewelry, and then hats and fun little things like these Veuve Clicquot, whatever they're called. Coasters. Thank you. So go to 913.shop and check them out. And you can use the code Manicure10 for a discount. The second sponsor is Manicure Magazine, my health and lifestyle magazine, printed as a modern newspaper. It's delivered to your house every quarter for $14.99. So go to manicuremagazine.com to subscribe and get it delivered right to your door. And with that, I will start with... Are you ready?
I'm ready. Big inhale.
Yeah. Taylor Hutti, background.
Yeah.
Taylor Hutti Macrae.
Hi.
Gosh, haven't seen you since 2008. I'm kidding.
Basically,
though. Yes, we went to high school together.
We did.
And had some very good times. Mm-hmm. Ironically, we were in different friend groups, but we hung out all the time because we had...
all of our classes together.
Super
smart.
Yes.
We were in honors.
We were in the nerd club, so let's just call it what it is.
But we were so cool. We were cool.
Well, we were cool. Well, we like to think that we were cool.
I think we were cool.
No, we weren't bad, actually.
No, we were fine. But yeah, we had all of our classes overlapping, and particularly I remember Spanish class.
Oh my gosh. We were in Spanish 5 honors together.
Did we do the play? You remember that so specifically?
Okay.
I don't remember any teacher's name, any class name.
Here's what I figured out.
Okay, tell me.
I think it's because you moved away.
Yes,
so,
for 10 years.
Yes.
Just like white from my mind.
Exactly. So I moved away for college. Did you go to LSU?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stayed for college. I left for college, but I came back and you left after college.
Correct.
So, and you were gone for
10
until
years,
recently.
Yeah, until 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, because when you leave, it is kind of like a weird, I don't know if you get this.
Totally.
But when I moved back, I was confusing faces that I had in North Carolina where I went to school. When I got back home, it's like I thought I saw someone who was like clearly not living here. It was it's weird when you get back.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I do like whenever I leave a place for more than, I don't know, a year or two, I completely black it out. I did that when I left Baton Rouge. Like if I go back to Baton Rouge now, I remember not a single street name. I don't remember where I lived. I remember none of my class, nothing. And then same thing in New York. I was just back in New York last week for the first time in a few years. And it was like as if I just like completely had a black hole for where everything was. I don't know what that's about. I'm like, I guess I live in the moment.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to go with that.
Yeah, that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Or we have some deeper issues, which we're going to get into. So
I have a lot of those too. That's for sure.
No. But yeah, so we were in separate friend groups.
Yeah.
Had all of our classes together, but we were kind of like groupies together.
Yeah.
We would go
to
concerts.
Yeah.
In New Orleans. We'd drive down to New Orleans. We went to go see Rooney
a few times, but obsessed with Rooney. Still am.
Love them. Still love them. They're such great guys.
I mean, I don't know anything about them personally, but I do love their music.
I know that Robert Schwartzman was on The Princess Diaries.
That's
and I
about
asked
where
him,
my knowledge ends.
Yeah, I asked him about Anne Hathaway, and he's like, she's one of the most intelligent people that I've ever met. I was like,
love
cool.
That, building her up.
Got the inside scoop. So
take that to the front page press.
Right, exactly. Maybe I'll put that in my fall issue.
There you go.
And then... yeah, Loxley was a band that opened for them, which
that's right.
They kind of sound like the Beatles a little bit.
Yes, I totally forgot about that.
And then the Ting Tings opened for them too. That's where I discovered the Ting Tings.
So weird. You have such a great memory.
Well, you know.
Truly.
I think it's because I started listening to the Ting Tings from then on because
it stuck with you.
I couldn't look away. It's one of those bands that you're thinking, huh? But you end up loving it. So shout out to the Ting Tings.
Sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we love you. So yeah, it's so funny how life works out. And then, so you went to LSU. So bring me through your life. Cause after high school graduation, we went in separate directions and then we just now recently.
Yeah. Like 2 months ago, reconnected.
Yeah. So what happened?
Yeah.
So you majored in
majored in fashion merchandising at LSU. I wanted to go outside of Louisiana, but my parents were like, LSU's free.
Yeah,
tops.
it makes sense.
So I went there. I majored in fashion merchandising. I graduated early because I did not love the Baton Rouge. I always thought I wanted a huge school, state school, the football, sorority, all that. Wound up actually not liking that at all. And now knowing myself as an adult, would have probably thrived in like a small liberal arts college.
Yeah.
So I graduated early, moved to New York like 2 days after graduating because I had interned there over the summer. While I was interning there, I met my husband. Turns out to be my husband. So moved there and then was in New York for 10 years, working in fashion at Michael Kors, Victoria's Secret for a long time, and then came back during COVID. We came back like with the intention of staying for 2 weeks, and it turned into now 5 years. So yeah.
So yeah, you probably would have thrived in a liberal arts college because I went to a liberal arts, and we're nerds together. Yeah,
I'm very jealous.
We're nerds together. So
I don't like a lot of people. It turns out. So going to like a massive school is not for me.
Lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah. So when you were in New York, you worked for Michael Kors, Victoria's Secret. What was your job like? What did you have to? Was it the kind of thing like when we watched The Hills?
Correct.
Or
it's like very like the Devil Wears Prada-esque. Like there's great people, and I have some of like my best friends are from Michael Kors. I worked there for 7 years, and they were just like the best people in the world. But it's very much one of those things like you get the call that the CEO's coming up for a meeting. You put on your heels, you go running down the hall to be like perfect for when he comes. Yeah. So it was very much that. And then like the late hours. I don't know what it's like anymore. Post COVID, things have changed. I think they're hybrid now. But at the time, it was like we're there till 10 p.m. every night. We're working weekends. It was just like brutal. It was fun, but I was 21, so that was fine, to do it that time. Now it's like so exhausting. I can't work past like 5 p.m. without needing a nap. So different lifestyle. Again, I feel like I've removed it from my mind. I've just thrown it out the window. So I don't know how I did that, but it was, learning experience.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like things on TV during that time kind of prepped us for that lifestyle.
It's true. Yeah. That was like what was expected when I got into the industry. So it was like, it was just normal.
Well, which is interesting because I think we're like programmed for that. When you just get out of college, you're like, oh, I want to, hustle and work until 10 p.m. and like have a nightlife too on top of that in a big city and just go in that direction. Yeah. That's what I wanted so badly. And I didn't go in that direction. So I had this tug of war internally because I moved back home after having gone away. Right. For the 4 years.
Did you move back to Covington or to New Orleans?
Yeah, back to Covington. Okay. Yeah, back in my parents' house and was like, what am I doing? Yeah. So right after that, I moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina, because I was like, well, I need to get out. I need like a big city. I need to do this. And stay there not that long, and turned out like very quickly realized business mentality, it's all about who you know, your connections. And my parents always like drilled that into me, but you don't really realize it until you're trying to find a job. You have no skills
you're
coming
in a place
out.
Where you know nobody.
Right. Yeah. It's like I worked a waitress job and inside in jobs and stuff in high school. But when you get out of college, you have these internships and things like that, but it's not the same as hardcore work experience. Yeah. So someone who has work experience next to you freshly out of college, even though I have all these certifications and, whatever, it really is about who you know, where you come from.
Getting a foot in the door,
So that is so commendable for you going out into especially a place like New York City.
Oh, thanks.
Like you just went big.
I tried. It was kind of like, I don't know. I majored in that. Since I was like 7, my dad's always said, he's like, you're one of the only people I know who have known what they've wanted to do since they were little and are still doing it. Like most people, like, you have the idea, you go do something now, like you don't always just stay right on the same track. Right. So it's kind of like I didn't even think I had any other option to like work in fashion. You at the time couldn't be here. You had to be in New York or LA.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And so I was like, I have to do this. And you know, again, like coming from that big school experience, going to a big city, I was like, I know this isn't necessarily what I want to do long term, but I know I have to do this right now. So I went with the intention of 1 year to be there, and it turned into 10. And it was one of those things where like, I wish I would have like let go of that a little bit more, because while I was there the whole time, I was like, I want to leave. I want to leave. I want to leave.
Interesting.
Not that I hated it or anything. I was just like, I was only supposed to be here for 1 year, and now I'm still here. Why am I still here? And so I kept having that thought of like, you know, I just wanted to get back home. And I am so glad I'm here. People always ask me like, do you miss anything about New York? And my instant answer was always like, no, absolutely not. And now, you know, since I was just back there last week, I was like, I do. But that's not like, it's just, again, not my personality type. Like I was fine while I was there, but it's not where I'm going to ever fully thrive. And I knew that. I was very conscious of that while I was there. So I wasn't like living this crazy New York life and loving it and then removed from it, you know?
That is so interesting, because I feel like we're opposites, but both of us had a mental turmoil, because I'm thinking, I want to get out. And you're thinking, I want to go home.
I want to get back. Yes, totally. Totally.
So
and it's
funny.
like grass is always greener, right? It's like, but I do feel like now in my life, it is such a blessing to know that like I did the thing that I thought I was always supposed to do.
Right.
It was great. I was successful at it. Turns out I don't love it. And it's now that I'm back, I'm not having that like, oh, why am I back? I need to get back out again. Like I'm happy being back. So it's like I had to have that experience away to know how much I really love it here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm happy. Thank
That's
God.
good. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, because you never know. Because I mean, New York City is such a like whirlwind that it is such a drastic change going from there back
Huge.
down to the south.
Yeah.
You know, where it's a lot slower.
Yeah.
A lot smaller.
Totally.
But yeah, I guess it makes sense for your path, because you were interested in fashion. So you weren't just, you know, heading off to New York City in vain.
Right.
You had a mission, and I had a mission too, which was to open my own business. Like I always wanted to do that. And so if you start out, you know, in Charlotte, North Carolina, trying to start your business without any contacts or anything, my parents are like, what are you doing? Like, you have to just come home and start from scratch. And I'm like, ugh,
I know.
like nauseous thinking about it.
How long were you there in Charlotte?
Not that long. It was less than a year.
Okay.
I don't remember it was maybe a few months or something. I don't know.
You blacked it all out, just like
I blacked it all out. Yeah. When in doubt, black it out. Yeah, exactly. It's like too painful to go there. Yeah.
Just throw that
I don't know. It could have been 10 years. I don't know.
Sure, who knows?
No. But yeah, I was like, let's put that to bed. But yeah, came back home and just started. I mean, it's starting from scratch, like starting at boutiques, starting for side jobs, part-time things. And, you know, finally I landed a scientific research job, and which I was so interested in. You know, I wanted to go to regular Western medical school.
Yeah.
And then a lot of things that happened in college, I was like, let me take a year off, see if I really want to do that. I want to go into scientific research to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
And I did, and didn't like what I saw. So I was like,
You did a hard pedal on that. Yeah.
yeah, it was a big wake up call, because then I had a little bit of like an identity crisis, because you pride yourself, and you would appreciate this, because you pride yourself so much on the educational aspect of things. Like you kind of get on your intellectual high horse of like, well, I have, you know, a double minor in neuroscience and psychology. I have, you know,
what am I going to do with all of that?
A major in exercise science. Yeah. And it's all science. So everything I learned throughout the university time was scientific research and research studies.
Yeah.
So imagine when I'm behind the curtain looking at how those things are done and realizing, oh my God.
This isn't for me. Yeah.
Because you think it's like a Bible almost. Like you become more religious about the science, because you're like, well, this research study says blah, blah, blah. It's like science doesn't lie.
Right.
But people do. And you don't realize that. And so I was naive, you know, because like you, I was 21, 22, you know, right out the gate, and just like, oh yeah, you know, it's science. I got this.
Yeah, believing everything at face value. Yeah.
And then when you really realize what's going on, and granted, not every research study is like that, but when you realize that there are, you know, who you look behind the curtain and you see, oh my gosh, this person's or this organization's funding this research. And, you know, the pressure to show a certain outcome and all these things. So that was kind of a fascinating journey because I dropped everything I thought I knew. It forced me to do that because you think you know everything when you get out of college.
Of course. You're 21. Why wouldn't you know everything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're an adult now.
Of course. Yeah. Fully functioning.
Yeah, exactly. So then when you're like, oh my gosh, the real world sucks. Like I need to figure out what am I going to do? Because if I went down the regular Western medical school route, it was going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't trust anything anymore at that point. So anything that my professors would have said or a doctor would have told me, I would have just thrown out the window.
Regardless. Yeah. You're just at that point.
So I'm like, what? I remember journaling down and was like, what is truth? Like, what is the truth? And that's when I figured out what resonance was, like something that resonated with you.
Yeah.
So when you figure out that truth is relative based on your experience, your belief system, you know, the way you grow up, who you're around, your culture, everything informs you for how to view your reality.
Yeah, sure.
So that's when I got into, you know, metaphysics and things. And so after all of that, I realized New Orleans is actually the perfect place for me because it does embrace the woo-woo, voodoo, taboo. And also like very grounded, like religious beliefs, like regular, you know, we celebrate Palm Sundays as much as palm readings, you know, so it is a perfect mecca for me to experience. So I became now as an adult, a bigger adult,
an actual adult for now until we're like 50 and we're like, we thought we knew it all.
Exactly. Right. So now that I'm a bigger adult, I can say that I have such gratitude for New Orleans and where we come from. And I had to do like kind of a roundabout thing where you got to experience the 10 years away. But
now are you at a place where you like so appreciate being here?
Yes. Yeah. I am so grateful that I was able to come back to my parents' house and start, you know, from the ground up, which is such a kind of hard knock experience in its own right.
Yeah.
But so badly, all of my friends were in New York City and in Chicago and LA, and, you know, being at home in Louisiana, you're thinking, especially with social media at that time, that Instagram, I think, just started out because we were on Facebook, but Instagram just started, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm miserable at home. I'm working at a boutique. In Louisiana.
That's not what I meant to do. Yeah.
No. And a lot of my friends are in New York City working for Michael Kors, bitch.
I understand. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there being like, oh, what I wouldn't give to be back home, you know?
Right.
It's like,
you just never know.
Yeah. No, that's true. I know. And then you really realize how much your family and your support system really matters in your life. Like, of course, you can always have a phone call, but I'm also realizing that now, you know, with my husband, I had him move down here away from his friends and family, and he's from Colorado, so I wasn't taking him directly out of that, but still knowing that, like, he's here with, like, not even any of his friends, and so he's, you know, it's been really admirable to watch him actually like make my friends his friends, my family his family, and then his brother actually just moved down here, so now he's like,
wow,
his wife's in her residency, so down here, so got lucky that now he has a family member here too. I know, but you really realize like how much that matters and makes a difference in your everyday life, you know, even though you can be so connected with people all day every day, unless you're like spending physical time with them, it doesn't feel the same.
It's so true.
So I was missing that a lot. And when I was up there, I was constantly back here anyway, you know? So I was like happy to be back home.
Oh, that's so good.
I know. We're excited.
So you met your husband in the field that you work.
Yes.
So, so how did that transpire?
Yeah, it's actually, so it's funny.
You're like, here we go.
Yeah, I know. So my husband, I was interning at Marc Jacobs at the time. And the long story short, that I was working on the men's team, and he was at the time a male model. And so we had a casting for something that we were doing, and he came in for it. And so my first words to him were actually like, can you take your pants off? Because I was having to dress it. Yeah, I know. Classy. Really classy.
You're such an SSA girl. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Yeah. totally.
Totally joking, by the way. Side note. Yeah, Taylor was not like that. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. No.
So I met him just very briefly. And then that night, we kind of went to like drinks with coworkers and, other interns, my boss, some other models, whatever. And he was trying to talk to me all night, and he was just like, at the time, back to the band thing, I was very into like almost grungy, a little like the tattoos, the long hair. Yeah, just like skinny, that whole vibe. And he is not that. He is the opposite. He's very clean cut. He is like Kennedy looking.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't at all.
So you were like, gross.
Yeah, not entertaining that in the slightest. And so I was like trying to push him off on another girl.
As you do.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? So then I left early. And then the next night, or maybe 2 nights later, another model friend of his was going to come meet us for drinks, my friends, and he was going to come with him. And last minute, the other model canceled. And then Logan, my husband, texted me and was like, hey, is it okay if I still come? And I was like, this is weird. I don't know this guy. Like, why is he wanting to come? But like, and now knowing him, this is very strange because he's like not like super outgoing. And so I was like, okay, I guess, yeah, sure, come. And then I was telling my friends, I was like, hey guys, this guy's coming. He's very cute, not my type. Like, go for it. Like, please entertain him so I don't have to all night. So then I'm sitting there talking to my friends, my back's to the door, and my phone rings, and it's him. And he was calling me apparently to like make sure he knew that it was me before he walked up, because he'd only met me once, and I'm sitting at a table full of girls.
That's smart.
Yeah, he was like, I want to, before I just like approach this table, let me make sure it's the girl I'm trying to meet. And I see his call. I'm like, why is this guy calling me? He knows I'm in a bar. Like, I don't want to talk to him. And so I ignore it, turn it over.
As he's watching you, ignore him?
As he's watching me, completely just watches the like, and like turn over. Yeah, great.
Taylor.
I know. How did this work out? So then he taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and like, it's like, our story is that like I locked eyes with him, and I was like, oh, just like something was different that night. I was like, his eyes are so beautiful. Like, I don't know what it is. Aww. So I turned back to my friends, and I was like, okay, I take it back. Yeah. Like, don't talk to him.
You can't
I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah,
no, please. So then, from there, we were just like together. I had to go back. He left actually 2 days after that to go to Germany for the rest of the summer for work. And so I wasn't going to see him before I was coming back home. And then he wound up flying home like 2 days early to surprise me before I left, and took me on a date. And then we've been together since then. Yeah. Wow. I know. It was really sweet. So yeah, it worked out surprisingly. So now we've been together for 14 years. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Well, congrats.
Thanks.
And I think it's so interesting that it's funny that you lived in New York City, which you would think would be like the hub of modeling, acting, all of that kind of stuff. And then was it not until you moved home that he started acting jobs? Yeah. So now he was acting in New York, but like modeling was his like main 9 to 5, as 9 to 5 as that can be. Then he just like, it's one of those jobs where you're working like 3 or 4 days a month. You're making the same as somebody else who has a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, right? But you have all this free time. So in his free time, he was like taking acting classes just to, have something to do. He got his real estate license, so he was doing that. And then but he wasn't really doing either of those things like full force in New York. It was always modeling. Then when we moved back during COVID, he got his real estate license down here, started doing that. And then I actually hooked him up with one of my friends from high school who's an acting agent down here, Rebecca Davis. She's the best from the Crew Collective. Shout out to Rebecca. To Rebecca. So Logan, I was like, you should talk to her. And he, and kind of in his mind, he's like, I have an agent in New York. Like, why would I need somebody in Louisiana? Not realizing how big of a hub New Orleans is for film. And it's all about who you know. Correct. Yes, totally. Full circle moment. Exactly. He got to like cut through and just go directly. She has like a list out the door, of people who want her to rep them. Right. And he just got to go straight to her. And so he got signed. And since then, he's booked a bunch of movies, and he's been a working actor now. So it's like very strange that it all came back to that. He didn't think that moving here, it would actually be like the start to his acting career. I know. And it's not just like, B films or whatever. He was in Where the Crawdads Sing. He plays Jody, which is the main character, Kaya's brother. And then he was in Carry On, which was like Netflix's #1 film. I think still is.
Yeah, and then he just shot an independent film last week.
Oh, good.
Yes, he shot a few other smaller things. But yeah, one of the things that he filmed, he was playing Tommy Lee Jones' son, and he shot it in downtown Covington at like somebody that we went to high schools with house.
Oh my God.
I know, it's just like all full circle. It's like the fact that he's doing that here in Covington is like, what are the odds? But
I know.
it's worked out for him.
It is so true. You feel like, oh, I got to get out and get away and do this. And then, it really is, going back to your roots. And I love that New Orleans is like the film industry is now getting back up and running. Cause I think they
had a little,
they had a moment.
Yes, they definitely did. It was very slow for the past probably 2 years, and now it's picking back up again. So, we're thrilled about that, obviously.
Yes, exactly. And now you are an influencer.
Trying.
As of late.
Aspiring.
I love your stuff.
Aspiring.
It's
like with a big asterisk influencer. Big asterisk.
Oh my God. I'm going to put that. Yeah. An aspiring influencer.
Yeah. I know. It's like the lamest job title of all time.
No, I loved seeing that when we started reconnecting a couple months ago on Instagram, and seeing you doing influencing for like health and wellness products and fitness attire and different things, all things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, my first thought was good for her. Because, you think at this point in time, because you see people who started like 10 years ago with the
1,000%.
influencing thing. You're like,
Shout out Jennifer Papalatok.
Yeah, Jen Pal again. Jennifer Papalatok.
The OG influencer.
Exactly. Like, we all looked at her like, whoa, so it is thinking like, if you didn't start 10 years ago,
it's too late. Yeah.
It's too late. Yeah. Where's my position in this?
1,000%.
And I love that you're just putting yourself out there. And I, from the viewer standpoint, I view you as having such courage. And I was thinking internally, like, gosh, she has no fear.
Thanks.
Like the way that
a lot of fear, but trying not to have fear.
Well, see, that's great to know, because it is, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, you're so authentic with the way that you do your social media sites. Like it's very playful, very fun, and the laughable things that you're sent from companies that don't fit you, or
I know.
You don't like.
I'm like, I can't sit here and be like, buy this, when it's like literally the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But
I love that you also say that.
Yeah.
Like you don't just like put it to the side. Like I've gotten stuff before where I'm like, oh my God, like I'll try a supplement or something and I have a horrible migraine. And I'm like, I can't.
I just won't talk about it. Yeah.
Instead, I'm like, gosh, she's so right. I should definitely be like, yo,
this was actually terrible. I know. Well,
this was horrible.
I mean, I'm trying. Yeah. So thank you for saying all that. It's very, I had this weird point in my career where I was kind of, I had a lull in my career, a moment where I wasn't working. And so I was like, what can I do to fill my time until I figure out what my next step is, what I want to do. Right. And this was something I always had in the back of my mind of like, it seems fun. It seems like something I'd enjoy, but I just, one, didn't have the time, because I had, I was working 40 plus hours a week. And two, I was always just nervous of like what people are going to perceive me as. They're going to be laughing at me. They're going to be sending it to their friends, and that probably is still happening. But I was like,
totally. It's all happening.
It's happening. And that's fine. It's like, that is good. No matter what you do, somebody's going to have something to say about it. So during that time, I was like, well, let me just, have something productive to do with my time instead of just sitting around going on walks, which is, don't get me wrong, my favorite thing to do, but I wanted to fill my time. So I did. And it's been fun just kind of figuring out like what my perspective is, what my voice is. And, you see influencers all day long and you're like, your initial instinct is to just emulate that because, they're successful. So let me talk how they talk. Let me do what they do. Let me like recreate, the videos that they're doing. Right. And it'll work for me. And then you're realizing like, those are the things that nobody cares about because there's, a million other people doing that. So you're like, okay, how can I be unique and different, still have people be interested in what I'm, talking about, but still be authentic to myself. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And I realize like that's when people engage the most is when I am, saying like, this actually sucked. Like this was terrible. Or, I'm just having something silly or stupid that like, is running through my brain that I would normally not post and I keep to myself. But I'm like, well, no, I'm trying to be authentic. So let me actually post it and talk about it, So And it, it's going slowly, but it's going.
Well, I love that you also weave in there like things that you're not necessarily influencing. Like you're a book girly.
Yes,
like you love novels.
Yes.
And I love your reviews because I'm always looking for something that is not like science-based or what I want something, fiction or something. So, your reviews on them, I love that you're like 0 out of 10.
Out of how many stars you want to give it. It's 0. It's always a 0.
You're like, this is trash. No.
Yes, I gave up on page 30 of this book and will not be returning. Like, I just can't fake it. Yeah.
Yeah. All of your reviews are so authentic. And to where I giggle every time I look at one of your reviews. Even if you love it, you're like, 10 out of 10. This made me, cry my eyes out or whatever. Like, you're just so just real about it.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely a book girly. I like the things if you like, you'll find with me is books, dogs, Halloween.
You're going to influence what dog to get.
Literally, just get my dog, a rescue dog.
Yeah.
And then, Halloween is like where I shine. That's what I do the best. And then, it's like the side things are like the fashion and the beauty and the fun stuff. But I am like mainly just out there trying to be a Halloween influencer at the end of the day. That's what I'm trying to do.
I would love that journey for you. I think you should be a Halloween influencer, an aspiring Halloween influencer.
I always say New Orleans #1 Halloween influencer. So come find me. Anything Halloween related, I'm your girl.
And we're coming up on your favorite holiday. Yeah.
This is my time to shine.
I know. I'm like, we're only like 2 months away. So that's exciting. Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to do for Halloween. My gosh.
I know. And this is like, I feel like I'm going to disappoint this year because I have a whole like house set up every year, inside, outside, all that. Everything. But we have somebody coming to photograph our house October 10th, which I need to talk to her about rescheduling that date because I can't wait to decorate until after that. But anyway, so that's my cross to bear.
Oh my God. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. You're gonna, that's tragic.
Trust me. I've been counting down the days until September 1st when I'm allowed legally by my husband to decorate. And
I love that he put
he actually said September 20th, but I keep trying to subliminally message to him that he actually said September 1st, which he didn't, but he's going to believe that
it's
he
gaslighting.
did.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. And I'm okay with gaslighting in that instance.
Yeah. Be like, you will embrace Halloween
1,000%
way earlier.
That's what all our texts are about nowadays anyway.
Oh my God, that is so funny. I love that. No, I mean, I actually ran in. You're making waves already. So I know you say you're an aspiring influencer, but I would at least give you like a micro influencer.
Trying. Because I heard that apparently there's nano, which I'm technically a nano, but I'm going to upgrade myself to micro.
Okay, I like micro. Yeah. So, well, because people around town are talking.
Oh, good.
And I actually went to Cured on Columbia the other day in downtown Covington, and I was waiting for my coffee and my order, and I ran into. Do you remember Yvette Gilbo?
Yeah, of course I love Yvette.
Yes.
She's so
you didn't
sweet.
black her out, so that's good.
No, I did not. I did not.
You didn't completely black out.
Yeah, she's been top of mind because she's like been one of my #1 supporters. So
okay.
I
well, she told me
it.
that. I don't know how you came up. I think it was like 2 weeks before she saw that you and I were together in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, because I haven't seen her in forever either.
Yeah, same.
And so she was telling me who's around here, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I think I brought it up or something like, I just saw Taylor Hutti. And I mean, we're all using our high school names.
Maiden names, 1,000%.
So she's like, and she's become quite the influencer. She's like, I just comment on all of her things.
I know, she does. She's so sweet. She is my #1 supporter.
No, I mean, you are making waves. So don't give up.
That's the goal.
I love that you don't have, it appears to me that you don't have fear, because even I will get in my head a lot about what are people going to think? And you have to just put it out there.
Yeah, I know. I remember the first time I actually talked to the camera. I was internally panicking. I was like, I'm judging myself, let alone what everybody else is thinking. It was so scary. And I remember doing it and being like, this is the one and only time I'm going to do this. I just have to talk to the camera and then I'm never doing this again. And now once I did it and got over that hump, and I was like, oh my God, this is so much better than like typing everything out. You know, it's just, it's like little steps of just making yourself uncomfortable and then realizing it's not that big of a deal once you do it.
Right.
So I'm still working on it, but I'm judging myself every day, and so is everybody else. But who cares? I'm
beat
doing
them
it
to the punch. And
Yeah,
just
exactly.
judge yourself first.
Exactly. I will always be my harshest critic. Always.
I know. Same.
Always.
Yeah. Well,
Trying.
you know you've made it when you get a hater that is worse than your own inner critic.
Yes, correct.
So we're waiting
that's
on
my
that
goal.
day. Yeah, that's your goal.
Goaling for so many haters.
Yeah. So if you're out there,
I've made it.
go trash on Taylor's
Yes, please.
account.
I welcome all the haters.
Yeah.
But please actually be nice.
Be nice. Be nice. She's trying.
Yes, please.
So I went through about, and I know we talked about this at dinner the other night, that I went through about, which I don't think I told you this part, but I went through a bout of anxiety.
Yes.
Like, and you.
Horrible.
Yeah.
For myself, yes.
So were you in New York when you were experiencing the anxiety?
Yes,
Okay.
I was.
Then what finally nipped it for you?
So it's actually interesting. So I don't know what triggered it or brought it on or whatever it may be, but there was a point in time in New York, you know, it might have just been like being unhappy there, who knows. But I was like crippling anxiety. It was preventing me from everything in my life. You know, if you saw me, you would never think that, but I was just like, I always described it as like, I couldn't take a deep breath. Like I just never felt like I could release the breath. I always felt like I had something like clenching on the inside.
Right.
And there was no reason for it. I just was constantly worried that something bad was going to happen. Didn't know what. There was no specific thing. It was just either to myself, to my family, to my friends. I was just like, you know, if my parents were driving, I was constantly tracking them. Did they get there yet? Did they make it? You know?
Okay.
So it was becoming just a really big issue in my life, even though nobody else could tell. So I wound up, you know, going to my doctor, just talking, like, you know, trying to figure out what it could possibly be. I think I even contacted you during that time because I was like, I just like need something. So I went to my doctor, did all the blood work, nothing came back. And then I wound up, my mom, actually, I like always credit her of like saving my life really, because she happened to read some article that was talking about it was actually Whitney Port from the Hills.
Yeah.
She had
another full circle moment.
I know, always back to the Hills. Why my mom was reading this article, I don't know. But it was saying that she was going through something similar. She had, you know, really bad anxiety, and that it turned out to be a B12 deficiency for her. And so my mom just mentioned that to me, you know, 'cause she knows I was trying everything. So I went. You have to ask your doctor for that test. It's not just like standard. Insurance doesn't cover it. So I got it. Turned out I was like severely B12 deficient. I had to get injections, took a supplement, and it just, I mean, of course I still have anxiety. Everybody has anxiety, but it completely corrected to where I felt like I was a normal person again without having, you know, I did do like the Zoloft and all of that, you know, and that just didn't do much for me.
Right.
Or it just really numbed me, you know. And so this, I was like, oh my God, I found something that like I can actually put my finger on and say, this is what was causing it. And then I can do something about it, but without having to like be medicated every day, even though there's nothing at all wrong with that. It's just, it
didn't work for you.
It didn't work for my body. Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, thank God for my mom, you know, that I know she was always looking out for me.
That's cute. I know a lot of people, you know, suffer from that. And the B12 deficiency, actually, there are genetic mutations where if you are very deficient in B12, you would need lithium orotate to help absorb the B12
Interesting.
better.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So you might want to try that. I mean, lithium orotate, it's very strong.
Is that just like another supplement? Like
yeah, it's another supplement. So they have like, they come in, I think 5 milligram capsules, but I would only suggest like taking 1 milligram. So like, unscrew the capsule and then pour a little bit like on your tongue and then swallow it. Okay. See if that makes a difference. Yeah. Like I know your anxiety has like drastically reduced.
I mean, it's still there, don't get me wrong, but like I can live, you know.
Right. Yeah. So it's not like the paranoia and the like infiltrating thoughts and all of that stuff.
Correct.
But yeah, if you take the lithium orotate and it helps absorb the B12 a lot better in your system.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that could help eradicate it. Yeah. So that's one thing.
I'm going to need you to text me that after.
Yeah, I'll text you that. Yeah.
The name of it, yes.
Yeah, don't black that out.
The one thing I'll try not to black out.
Yeah. So there's that. And then also magnesium is a great thing.
Okay. So we put, I mean, tell me if there's a better form of doing this, but we put magnesium on our wrist, my husband and I, at night to help us sleep. But I don't know if that's the same thing as like taking it orally.
Yeah. There are like 18 different forms of magnesium that are commonly, so there's like magnesium malate, magnesium L-threonate. So magnesium L-threonate is for the brain.
Oh, interesting.
So that's a specific magnesium that will go to the brain. So you might need that.
Okay.
If it's more mental based.
Yeah.
So it depends on where the anxiety is stemming from. But, and sometimes, you know, in our culture now, magnesium has become such a thing. Magnesium. But people also don't know that you have to have a perfect ratio with potassium. So potassium's like an unsung hero.
Well, potassium, I can ask you about this too, because I take spironolactone for skin. And apparently that can like raise your potassium levels. And so they always have to every year take my blood to monitor my potassium. I mean, it's always been fine, but like it can get too high.
Well, then you probably need more magnesium.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you're doing, it's good to have topical magnesium. Like you're saying that can usually help you to like go to sleep. Like magnesium,
that's how we do it. Yeah.
Magnesium citrate helps you with bowel movements.
Oh, interesting.
So there's different ones that like magnesium malate can actually energize some people and then it could also calm other people. It really depends.
Right. I know because some people do take magnesium like as a pre-workout and I'm like, I'm like trying to go to sleep with magnesium, but that makes sense.
Yeah. It can hype you up or calm you down. So it's just every form is very different. So you can look up the different forms, but magnesium L-threonate is a good form. I like Magtine by Source Naturals. It's a good brand, but I'll text you that after too.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please. I need all this information.
Yeah. And then actually the lithium orotate I like from MitoLife. It's a really good brand.
Okay.
So I'll text you that as well. And my discount code is Dr. Carter for that. So
oh my God, perfect.
We're influencing.
We're doing it. My husband's like the biggest supplement guy. So anything that you recommend, he will take. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
He's like anything he's one of the guys that like he hears something on Instagram. He's like, now that's his new thing, his new supplement thing. So, he goes through all of them slowly.
Yeah. All of them slowly.
I know. I'm like, that might be too many. Do you know what any of those actually do? He's like, well, they told me to take it.
Well, I know it's really interesting because people just like mindlessly will take supplements, but they are very strong. It's like the medicinal portions of it are the root of even pharmaceutical medications. Like the herbs and things are like the root of all of it. Right. So it is interesting. You don't think about it, but it can be very powerful. And, you have to have everything in the right ratio.
Well, right. And I'm also like, are you like are you controlling or thinking about like what counteracts each other, like how this interacts with that,
exactly.
How which, I don't know if he is or not, but he's healthy as of now.
Well, and it's especially like something like turmeric. People will take, especially women are taking that for lowering inflammation.
Right.
But it chelates out iron. So you can become very anemic taking turmeric capsules.
That is so interesting. Okay, because he does take that. And then he also found out he has like a copper deficiency. So now he's going to take copper.
Well, copper and iron. So copper converts iron. So you need, it's called ceruloplasmin, which is a form of, not to get into the weeds of it, but you need copper in order to absorb iron and get your iron up. And then iron, if it depletes, your copper can go off. So
okay, that is interesting.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm like. You don't know all the different counteractions of these, but he's trying to do what's healthy for him.
But it's trying. It's hard.
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But okay. So what is your plan for influencing? Do you want that to be your job moving forward? Like, what is your vision for it?
Yeah, so that's the hard part. So I did, start another full-time job, and that's like taking away from obviously the influence stuff, which is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get paid from the other ones, so that's fine. But yeah, I'm still gonna keep doing it, and my goal is, I don't have like a true, like I want this amount of followers or I want this brand deal. It's like, I just want to keep doing it as long as it's making me happy and as long as I'm like getting fulfillment out of it and it's not stressing, adding an extra stress to my life. So right now it is doing that, pre-work and post-work, I'm able to like have fun with it. But that's the goal, is I just want to like have fun, have an audience that actually connects with me and thinks, the things that I'm posting about that they find entertaining and they want to hear about it. So it's interesting. You're finding those people like an Yvette Gilbo who's like, you haven't connected in so many years, and then something about whatever you're posting is like resonating with them, and then you connect with those people, either reconnect or find new people. And so that's been like the funnest part to me, is having, like, we went to a Saints game the other day and I was like, oh my God, that Saints Station, I follow each other, and like I love her stuff. She taught, it's just like things like where you're finding commonalities and friends in a community that I've been here my whole life, and I have a very like small, narrow circle. But even like with you, it's like bringing new people into my life, and I think that's been the biggest like underlying blessing in all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for when you get started, do you sign up with like an agency, or like for people listening, if they're wanting to get started in this, how do you go about that? Do you just start cold calling people, reaching out?
Honestly, I say that I wish that there was like a college course on this, an online course, just something of like influencer 101, because it is such like you figure it out as you go. And what I've realized is a lot of those connections I've made through, Instagram of other influencers, they're the ones who are actually like helping me. Like I remember when I was even thinking about doing this, I messaged somebody who we had a friend in common, and she has like, a lot of followers, and I just like blindly messaged her being like, hey, we know this person in common. I'm thinking about doing this. Do you have any advice? And she sent me back like basically a novel of like all of her like
so nice.
It was so nice. And it just like to start off on that foot was really reassuring, where I was like, okay, if anybody ever asks me, I'll be happy to help. And like I'm just constantly tapping into all the people who I'm like, if they're posting something of like with a brand that I really like respect, like how did they do that? I'll ask them. And so that's my number one tip, is just to ask people for help, because everybody's very kind for the most part, and really willing to help each other out. But really there's like, no agency. I mean, not that I have, but really it's like the platforms I use are just Shopmy. Got on that right away. And that's how you're able to link everything. And then just really interacting with people, just like having the conversations, responding to every DM, responding to every comment, just keeping them, engaged. That's like the two biggest tips. But there's so many different like platforms and agencies, whatever, that you can talk to. And I'm just trying to like do it as simply as possible, so as not to overcomplicate my life. Yeah. And so far it's going okay.
That's so good. Yeah, it is. It's those old school principles that you just like, I used to just show up places, like knocking on people's doors at clinics and things, being like, what do you do? And tell me how you did it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to where you are.
Yeah, and I think it's a lost art. There's something to be said for finding the people who have made it in an industry that you want to get involved in, 1,000%. And asking them for help. And if they don't want to help you, go to someone else who is, willing to talk to you about anything, any aspect of it. I think that's such a valuable skill set. Yeah. And it's helped me tremendously, even figuring out like, okay, I don't want to do that,
Right.
So,
no, it is so helpful. And that's what I really realized is, Instagram can be sometimes a scary and like dark place of negative comments. You can get lost in that. And for, what I'm trying to do is like just find the positive light and luck. And that's like all I've had. I haven't had anything negative so far, thankfully. But just really tapping into that and finding those other, whether it's another creator that you really connect with, or just somebody that you respect, that you value their input, and just having those conversations and asking, how did they do it? What tips can you learn from them? And it's been like, it's been a game changer of like, you actually feel like you have like friends, which I know they're all virtual.
Taylor, this is really getting sad.
I know. I have so many online friends. I swear they're real.
I'm dating ChatGPT.
I was just listening to a podcast about that, of like how that's going to be the next thing after like TikTok and Instagram, is the AI, and how like people are going to have like, the kids are going to have like online
friendships,
boyfriends, friendships. Yeah.
Like robots.
Yes. And I know it was like this expert talking about how to like prevent your kids from like going down that spiral. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot listen to this because it's too scary.
I know.
It's too scary.
I think about that sometimes, because I'm like when we're in Spanish together, it's like it was so much harder in a lot of ways to like do your homework and, get your tests done and stuff. Cause I'm like, God. And we even had, what's it called? Like Cliff Notes and Spark Notes.
Yeah, Spark Notes. Yeah,
And
that's right.
the teachers were like, "Don't do that," and they would specifically get like answers or questions from the test, like not having to do with Spark Notes. Yeah, so like you can really use it.
Right.
But I can't imagine having all of these resources today to just cut corners left and right.
And I don't know how they're going to prevent them from using it. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part. Even now, I find myself like just writing a simple email. I feel like my brain's a little a lot dumber now, but I'll just like type in words, string together, and then I like copy and paste it into ChatGPT. I'm like, make this sound good. You know, like it's so sad.
I need to start doing that.
I mean, it's a huge hack in my life, but also like my brain is a lot dumber for it. I literally am like, what is the word for this? ChatGPT, what is word for? you know? It's like, it's sad, but it's helping me.
It's helping me. Yep. ChatGPT is my
me in life.
new best friend.
Yeah, no, truly. My online best friend.
My assistant, my coworker, my husband, my
ChatGPT.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, my friend told me she named hers the other day. I was like, well, I haven't gone that far, but
wow.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
I mean, do what you got to do.
Oh my God. Look, I mean, I'm only jealous that these kids these days have, but also I'm glad we didn't have social media when we were growing up, because we didn't have, people taking pictures of us at the Rooney concert.
I mean,
although
we
I do
did.
have a picture.
Yeah, let's say we did.
But I think it was from like an actual camera.
An actual camera, which everybody's going back to now is actual cameras. So that's full circle.
That's fun. I'm going to have to post the picture of us at the Rooney concert.
Please find it.
I think I have it. It's probably on Facebook somewhere. Because I think we started with Facebook.
We definitely did.
Those days.
Like when we were like 15.
I know. Okay. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, go ahead.
We haven't, I know like you've talked about.
Oh, wait, quickly. Jonah, where are we on time?
51.
Okay.
What do you go to, an hour?
Yeah, around an hour.
Yeah, okay.
And then do you need a refill?
No, I'm good.
Jonah, you want to hook us up?
I'm like trying not to like burp into the mic from the bubbles, you know? So sorry.
Yes.
We have to edit that out.
Very custom Lamaka.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Thank
That's
you.
exactly what we ordered.
How do they do it like that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
might as
I might
well.
as
It's
well
Friday.
have a little. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We're celebrating
Thank you. That's perfect.
actually, I think today's the
What?
anniversary
Oh,
of
I
Katrina,
know.
which like, say no more.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
20 years. It's
Where
crazy.
were you for that?
Well, that was our sophomore year. Thank you, Jonah. Thank you.
Yes, our sophomore year.
That was our sophomore year of high school.
Did you evacuate?
Yes. In the middle of the night. Because no one thought, we didn't think that anything was happening. My mom was moving in my older sister in the University of Richmond. Like, so she was gone. They were moving in. And so it was just my dad and me and my other sister.
Yeah.
And then it was basically like overnight, I think the hurricane turned towards New Orleans, like a mean turn. Yep. And my dad was like, get up, get your bags together. We went to Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And I think a TV has turned on.
It's like, what in the
Is that Katie Holmes?
It is.
Whoa. Oh, Dawson's Creek. I didn't realize she's that young on that. Weird.
That is very weird.
Okay, well, remind me about that.
Yeah. So we went to Jackson, Mississippi. Then we woke up in the middle of the night, and my dad was like, we got to go further because now it's hitting Mississippi. Like after it's, it made a turn. So we went to Memphis and stayed there. My
Just
mom,
in a hotel or with
yeah,
friends?
we went to, I think it was like the Peabody Hotel or something, which was, we were fortunate to get a spot there.
Yeah.
But my mom flew in to meet us in Tennessee, but all the phone towers were out. And that's when I remember we started texting.
Yeah. It was really bizarre. We stayed for it. And
You did?
Yeah. We were like I know. It was strange.
Did you get trees in your house?
Yep. The whole thing. I know.
Yeah.
It was, I just remember, because that was on a Monday that it happened. On Sunday, we were on Lane's boat, because it wasn't supposed to come here. And then I remember we like pulled back into the dock and her dad was like, we got to go. We're evacuating. Like, get up now. I came home. I told my parents, like, they're evacuating. Should we be? We had never left for a storm before. And so my parents were like, no, like, we'll be fine. So we stayed. And then I remember waking up at like whatever time it hit, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something like that. And my mom like waking me up out of dead sleep and pulling me out the room because a tree had just fallen on my room.
Oh my gosh.
And then so, we just like stayed in the laundry room where there weren't windows for the whole storm. I remember my uncle like opened our front door because they had evacuated out of New Orleans to our house. He opened the front door and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, I have to release the pressure or the windows are going to start to blow. And I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
And then, we were stuck there. My grandfather wound up, he had to go to the hospital like in the middle of Katrina, like as it's hitting. Because he was older, had emphysema, all this.
Yeah.
And so my dad and my uncle had to like literally cut down trees like to get him to the hospital the next day. And then he wound up dying, but on my birthday. Yeah.
Well, this just took
like,
a turn.
I know. It was like such a weird, dark time. But
oh my gosh.
that's probably where my anxiety started. Yeah.
Wow.
But
it's probably where it started. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a really strange Katrina time. But,
Gosh.
We were out of school for like 2 weeks. And then we had all the evacuees from New Orleans here.
Yeah.
Once we reopened.
I know. I don't remember that timeline. It felt like longer than 2 weeks. I don't know why.
It might have been.
But
again, another thing I've blacked out.
yeah. I mean, I understand why. That I just remember coming back and everyone from all over different schools had different uniforms on coming to our school.
That was cool, that part, yeah.
And, well, we didn't have enough desks, and so girls were sitting on the floor. It was like we're all just discombobulated.
Yeah.
But then I remember being in speech class, and like the speech was about like, what happened. What was your experience?
We must have been in that same class because I remember writing a speech about it. Yeah, I remember that exact speech. Yeah.
Okay, and then there was a girl in the class who said, because she was from the South Shore, and she said that I think it was her grandparents passed or
died.
drowned.
Yeah. I know, horrible.
And like someone's dog or whatever. And then I think the teacher like shut it down after that. Was
So
like,
it was, like, too
okay,
dark. Yeah.
too dark. Like we're not going there. Yeah. So that was
really
just
intense.
a wild
I was
time.
reading somebody's post this morning, and I'll butcher whatever they said, but basically they were like, not our generation, but anybody who was like here during Katrina, lived here during that time, just like there's so much unprocessed like grief and trauma from it. And I was having this conversation this week, actually. It was like, especially our age and probably younger, of like, we were like a little too young to like watch the news, hear the dark conversations, like actually understand what was happening.
Right.
We just knew that there's like new girls in school and there was a flood, but like, I don't think I even realized until more recently, like how many people died during Katrina, just all that kind of stuff. It's like, so we had the trauma, but like we were a little bit protected, which was probably good for us. We were a little too young to like fully understand what was happening, but yeah, it was a dark time.
I know it is like when I think back to it, I'm like, oh, I haven't really, like someone asked me about it the other day, and then it was the first time, honestly, in 20 years that I actually went into it. And like, I was like, oh yeah. And I remembered like the MREs, like the meals ready to eat, and living off of those for a while, and like making our way back to the house. Everything was closed, and there's trees down because our driveway is long and the trees are down over the driveway. And I remember my dad looking at us and saying, if the house isn't there, we have each other.
Prepare
we're okay,
yourself. Yeah, it's okay.
And it's just bracing for all of that. And then finally seeing the house through the trees and like climbing over all the trees that are down to get to the house.
Yeah.
And then when you're in it, seeing the damage from, trees, and some of the neighbors stayed and said there was tornadoes that came through, and which made sense why all the trees were down. But we got the wind, and I think New Orleans got the water.
Correct.
So,
yeah. And that was like the crazy part for us. So we had tree damage, like nothing horrible, it was all obviously fixable. That was just crazy. But then my grandparents were in Gentilly, like right where the levee broke. They had evacuated to our house, but their house got 11 feet of water in it. And so then like a few weeks later, after we were able to like have my grandfather's funeral, we drove, New Orleans was finally open. You could get back in. We drove back to their house to see if there was anything we could salvage, because it's the first time we were going back. And I remember being like in my dress from the funeral, and my parents everything was just like collapsed in the house from the water. Like, you know, so you couldn't just like open a door and walk in.
Yeah.
And so there was like a little opening in like a window, and I was the smallest one. And so my dad just like picked me up and like put me through the hole to get in the house to see if there's anything I could recover, because nobody else could get in the house. And the only thing we were able to get was like some of my grandmother's jewelry. Like that was still in her jewelry box. But I remember like right as he put me in, like a hissing noise, and he ripped me back out thinking it was like gas. And it was just like something like water just like releasing.
But yeah, it was a snake.
No. They thought it was like gas being released. So they panicked.
That's worse than than a snake.
Not for me. Snakes don't work. But yeah, it was like nuts. So we, you know, got a few of her things, and then that was it. But
gosh,
I know it was like not a great time.
I know, not a great time.
No, not a great time. But no, okay. What I was going to ask you, was
questions for me.
Yeah. So I know you talk about psychic mediumship. Like I know I've asked you about that, but I want to know where you stand on ghost. Because that is what interests me the most.
As a Halloween fanatic.
Yes. Because I fully believe, but I'm curious where you are.
So yeah, ghosts are definitely real from my perspective, and especially from a metaphysical standpoint of like looking at it as a science. So it's just frequency.
Yeah.
So it, you know, if you get into the psychology of it, it's like, you know, people, lost souls, if you want to call it, or people who have unfinished business, or a lot of the time they will, if they're so attached to like a property, or like died on the property, or there was a trauma or something like very heightened frequency wise, like there's a lot of energy there, almost like a portal.
Yeah.
They can access these areas that can manifest as like a physical apparition, like they can appear as something tangible, as something physical, but it's that very fine line between like the other world and us. So, I mean, they in the other world can, I mean, I call it that. It's more of like a dimension.
Yeah.
That it's just a different frequency. So, for instance, like dogs can hear dog whistles. Like we can't hear that.
Right.
It's a spectrum. Same thing with whales. They can hear. Their spectrum of hearing is like so large. So they can hear vibrational pulses that we are never going to pick up on ever.
Interesting.
So just because we can't hear it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just beyond our capacity. It's beyond our spectrum of hearing. So like the receivers in our ears, it's like having an antenna.
Yeah. We're just not
and it's
tuned
not a
into
match.
that. Yeah.
Right. So we're not tuned into it. Right. Yeah. So like a radio station, you flip the stations, and some stations you'll have static because the frequency is off. Like it's not a direct match. So it's that with ghosts. Like there's an energy there, but the frequency is a little bit more heavy. It's a little bit more dense, based on like emotions are like gasoline on a fire. So if you have like an emotional stance or like an energetic, it's like very intense energy is an emotion.
Yeah.
So if you are attached to a property or died tragically somewhere or whatever it is, or have unfinished business, the emotional turmoil around that can, like gasoline on a fire, pull that energy in, that consciousness into like a physical representation of whoever that is.
It's so interesting.
So it is, from a scientific standpoint, ghosts are real. Not everyone sees them.
Right.
But.
And is it always trauma based in the sense of like.
Not always.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be friendly too. Like Casper, the friendly ghost.
My favorite. That was my childhood crush.
No. Oh, Devin Sowell?
No. The ghost. Casper himself.
Oh my God.
I mean, that was like my make believe play when I was little. It's like, I'm Wendy and Casper's my boyfriend.
Wow. Okay.
It goes deep.
It goes deep. We have a lot to unpack here today.
A lot of ghost trauma.
Okay, so you're asking, because I was making fun of ChatGPT, but you're interested in dating ghosts.
Yeah. Well, my mom always says that I would like in our old house that I would talk to a ghost boy all the time. We don't know the background to that.
Okay. Was this before you saw Casper ever?
This was before. So I was like 2, 3.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom said I would just like have conversations with a person. Yeah. A ghost. And she, you know, whatever, thought it was like a make-believe friend or whatever. And then we moved out of the house. Well, actually, when I was there, I had my baby spoon and I was eating out of my high chair and I dropped it on the ground. And then my mom could like never find the spoon. Like it was just a dining room with the table chairs and my high chair and she couldn't find it. And then the next day or 2 days later, it was just sitting like in the middle of the dining room table. So my mom's like, something weird's happening here.
Yeah.
And then my sister my sister's older. She moved into the house with her family, her husband and kids. After we had moved out, she was renting it from my dad. And same thing. She would just like out the corner of her eye see a little boy all the time sitting there.
Interesting.
And she thought it was like her son. He'd be sleeping in his bed, you know, what? And it was just like always little things like this. And then that house wound up burning down twice. Yeah. Like in the same day, burned down twice.
Wow.
Burned down half the house. They controlled it. And then that night, the other half caught them. Yeah. So we don't know what's going on there.
Wow.
But yeah, so I'm very like, I love all of that kind of stuff.
That is very interesting. You know what's so funny? I think every person in my family has seen ghosts. My dad sees ghosts a lot.
Really?
My oldest sister will see ghosts. My mom's seen ghosts. And I don't interact with that world on that level. I haven't seen a ghost.
So interesting.
But I'll see, it appears differently for me.
Yeah.
So it's like a different frequency or a different, like I'm tuning into a different radio station. So it looks different for me.
Yeah.
But they'll see actual like apparitions, like walking around. Like my dad's seen it in our house, but I'll feel it and I'll feel that and I'll be like, okay, like the hair will stand up and I'm like, someone's here or something, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so interesting with my like quote unquote abilities or whatever. I just
don't see it. Yeah. It's funny. I don't see it either, but same thing when you're saying like the feeling of like, so my family really loves ghosts, my mom particularly. So like we'll go to like the Myrtles plantation for Thanksgiving dinner and so like, and like for my 13th birthday, like that's where I went. We tried to spend the night, could not. Yeah. So like we're very into it, but there's like certain rooms, like a room there where like, I remember like getting like, I felt like I was gonna throw up. So like I ran out of the room and then the like tour guide there came out and she was like, did you feel sick in that room? I was like, yeah. She was like, that's where like the most murders in this house happened. She's like, people who were sensitive to it like feel that in that room. And then I was just at the Stanley Hotel in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah. And they have like the caretaker's house where like the daughters died. And they didn't say anything about like where it's a big, you know, it's like a 2-story house. And when we came downstairs, I asked the tour guide, I was like, was it the room that's like at the top right where they died? And he was like, yeah, that is where. And I was like, yeah, you just like feel like, I feel like a pressure on my chest, but I've never actually seen anything maybe when I was little, like 2, but yeah, I want to.
Well, now all the blackouts are explained.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why. I have a ghost taking over my body.
You're like, my favorite thing. Yeah.
Goals.
Anxiety. Okay. Scratch that, everyone. That is not a B12 deficiency.
Yeah, it's just a ghost.
It's just a ghost. We have way more going on.
I mean, that'd be my goal. If the ghosts were like my biggest problem, well, I take that back. I don't want to like call that onto myself.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, because they will just... Yeah, bulldoze boundaries if you allow it. Yeah.
Pass. I take it back.
Yeah, we take it back. cancel. Oh my gosh. Okay, so any other questions?
Yeah, I'm curious. So on that subject, what do you think happens when you die? Like, is it heaven? Is it nothingness? Is it you're still here just in a different form?
Well, consciousness is, so like I have a very different view of, like from a scientific standpoint, there's, I view it as energy. So like everything is a different spectrum of frequency, but consciousness comes from like a source of information. People can call it God, the universe, you know, we're all part of whatever that energy source is. And then, so it is like a returning to that, but it's just shifting your consciousness somewhere else. It could be, and this is where like parallel lifetimes come in, or, you know, you can get into different dimensions, all those things. And they say like all of your lifetimes are happening concurrently, which is very, like mind bending. Yeah. But, so yeah, when you die, quote unquote, your consciousness goes in a different direction, goes in a different medium. So it leaves the medium of your physical body. That energy leaves and goes elsewhere because they're done with that experience, that journey as that person, as that character of, or that role that they're playing. They either learn the lesson or they, for whatever reason, on a soul level, have moved on. Yeah. So they say there's like the soul, and then there's like an oversoul of like all your physical manifestations of what your energy is, like all your different souls.
Yeah.
And then there's source.
Oh, interesting.
So that's from the metaphysical standpoint. That's the viewpoint of it. So is there a heaven? People say, you know, when people who have had near-death experiences and they see the other side say that it is kind of similar to what this is. Is that verifiable? Not right now, really.
Yeah.
But it does make sense that if you're in a human form, you would relate consciousness to whatever you're experiencing here on Earth. So it's hard to verify, like, if that's actually what the full-blown experience is of Earth, or if it's even like another realm above that, and we just can see this realm, like the lower realm. It's hard to verify.
Right. Right.
But
unless you died, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I have had out-of-body experiences, which is, it's different from other people who have had out-of-body experiences, because people say like, oh, I was floating in my kitchen, or I like floated into like, you know, my backyard, whatever. I've gone to different, I would say, dimensions. I know I'm aware that I'm in my bed. I'm aware of that, but all of my consciousness goes up and over into another dimension where it's as real as you and I sitting here today.
Interesting.
Very
when you're
weird.
sleeping?
When
or
I'm sleeping. Okay. I can't do it when I'm awake.
Yeah.
But, and I used to have one every single night. This was years and years ago. I had one actually not last night, the night before last.
Really?
But I'll have it rarely now.
And it feels different than like a normal dream.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
It's like helicopter noises in your ear. Your body heats up to where I'm like sweating like a pig in my bed. It's so intense that like you feel like a helicopter's inside of your ears. It's like the pressure in your head and the physical movements. You're paralyzed, like you can't do anything. But your consciousness, that energy, that whatever you want to call it, your soul, whatever it is, lifts up and out into, it expands somewhere else. So like I can't see as I'm physically traveling somewhere, can't see what I'm doing. It's just like kind of blurry until I descend into somewhere. Yeah. And it's always a different experience every time. It's either people or other interdimensional beings, which is interesting. So, which I've thought about, I'm like, I sound crazy. I'm
Not
very
me.
aware of that.
I love the crazy.
I was poking fun at you about Casper, but
yeah, exactly. Look who's talking now.
I know, like I'm really the freak in the room. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The more that I've talked about it on podcasts, the more people have come out and said, I've experienced that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I always say it, like whatever it is, like the more that you talk about it, the more it gets normalized.
Right.
I mean, just everything from like, I mean, this is not at all related to that, but just like IUD and the pain that like women have to go through to have that done. Like just like things like that where most people don't talk about miscarriages.
Yes.
You know, and now if you talk about it, you're like, oh, okay, it's not just me. I'm not the weirdo. Yeah.
Right. Right. I'm not, different from other people.
No.
Yeah. So that has been a very unique experience. But it started out as me feeling like I was being pushed down in my bed, which was very scary for me. And then later on, it came to where I was like pulled out of my body.
Interesting.
With beings, like I could feel beings around me. And now I don't have that around me at all. I'm just like kind of, I guess, flying solo. So I still don't know what it is exactly. Some channeler said that I'm actually in two places at once. It's by location is what it's called. So I'm in two places at once, which you can do. You can split your consciousness into two different places. So I don't know how I'm doing that. I wouldn't be able to teach anyone.
Yeah.
I know there's like certain common denominators in my life of
That like trigger it.
yeah. If
Yeah.
I have a lot of caffeine during the day, it'll
interesting.
trigger it. If I go out to a concert, it'll trigger it. And I think it's because of the vibration
Yeah.
of the music.
Yep.
It's so intense and so
Taking
loud.
you somewhere. Yeah.
The actual vibration is getting into my cells and it'll lift something. I don't know.
So interesting.
So every time I go to a concert, I know that night I'm going to have an out of body experience. And it's so
Which
weird.
is like kind of cool. You're like, okay,
I know.
concert
And I'm like-
a party.
I know. I'm like, and I don't do drugs.
But I mean,
I
you get the
know.
experience.
I know. I'm like, is it like a DHT thing? Like, what's going on? I'm like, there's got to be something in my brain that's just wired a little differently.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm looking at it on a science
Sure.
level, I'm sure there's something going on. But
So
yeah, it only started in my late 20s and or like mid 20s, late 20s, whatever. So yeah,
and I wonder if it'll stop at some point.
I
if
know.
there's
It did
purpose to
stop when I was under severe stress with my mom getting
Right.
sick and passing, and it stopped
Yeah.
during that time. But after she passed, I've had out of body experiences with her. You know, it's very interesting. Where you
That's
like
kind of cool.
and it's different because I'll have dreams that are very human-like, and then I'll have a lucid dream that's like, it appears as my mom, but I know it's not her. It's a projection of like my subconscious showing up as her to teach me something.
Yeah.
But then there are times where I'm like, this is her. Like, it's
That's
very
cool.
weird. Yeah.
I love that. See, you don't
So-
see ghosts, but that's like your version of
Yeah, it's a fun-
Yeah. And you're like, that's her. It's real.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
exactly.
believe in all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very wild.
It's so interesting. Well, that's good to know that you feel like it's not just like blackness when somebody dies.
No, I mean,
Because that's my fear.
no, it can't be because
I agree.
we
I
experience
agree.
too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like, just the things of whether it's like through a psychic or just, a ghost, whatever. You're like, there's something, and I don't know
Right.
what it is, but
Right.
there's something that's not just like blackness.
Exactly.
know?
And also, if it is just blackness, that's okay too.
Right. That's comforting in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people like think they have to get it right,
Right.
and I'm like, we don't know. We can't verify it. There's a mystery in the world. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's move on. It could be anything. So,
Right.
you know,
I mean, and you'll never know. So it's like, stop stressing yourself
Right.
about it. I mean, I won't stop stressing about it, but I should.
you're like, where is Casper? No,
Need to find Casper.
I know. But no, truth is relative. That's my full circle moment is truth is relative. What resonates with you is what's going to work, and we'll all figure it out eventually,
Yeah.
So
That's the goal.
that is the goal.
the goal.
The goal is to die.
Yeah. I
Find
mean,
out.
one day at
Yeah.
a time, we're getting closer.
I know. I guess that's what we're all here for. So,
End goal.
oh Lord. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I
Thanks for
really
inviting me.
appreciate
I was
it. Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're going to ask me or what I'm like. I don't find myself to be very interesting, but I appreciate that you think I'm interesting.
Well, I mean, I should have asked from jump about Casper. I had
I
no
know.
idea.
I mean, start
I'm like,
there, and there's like
God.
nowhere to go but up.
I've known you for so long, and it's like, God, I just keep learning. The fact that you think you're not interesting,
Well, thank you.
is-
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot there. Just keep
There's a
it
lot
really
there.
deeply hidden.
Yep, I know. It's all the anxiety. It's where all the anxiety is. Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
course. Thanks for
And
having me.
more fun times ahead.
Yes, can't wait. I'll be back one day.
Yes, and welcome back to New Orleans.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.